Hi everybody, this is Joel Kennedy with Kennedy Violin. So today, just a quick video on the different types of mutes that you can buy for your stringed instrument. Okay, so there's basically two purposes of mutes, okay? One is that they mute the sound. Who would have guessed it? And the other one is to just change the quality of your sound as well as muting it. So some will mute and change the quality of sound, whereas others, they're called practice mutes. Their job is to just make your violin as quiet as possible. Okay, so the first category is just a mute that makes your violin as quiet as possible. And the reason why you want to use this mute is, because you don't want people to hear you practicing. So maybe you're in a hotel room, you're traveling, you don't want to bother the people in the next room. Maybe you're waking up in your house and you don't want to, you're practicing in the morning, you don't want to wake people up, or, there's a million different situations where you want to keep your playing really quiet so you don't disturb other people or maybe embarrass yourself, who knows. But anyway, those mutes are called practice mutes. There's a couple major designs. One is this big thick rubber thing here, the black one. They also make them made out of wood and also metal. But yeah, they just make your instrument like just super quiet, and they're not, nobody really cares what your violin sounds like necessarily. You're just trying to make it a lot quieter. So the other category of mute is going to be like a performance mute. So there's a lot of different kinds. I don't have them all here. There's some kind that are made out of metal, and they're pretty popular. They're called Paganini mutes. And there's some other little designs here and there that people have come out with. The most popular ones, as you see, that are very inexpensive, they're called tort mutes. So they're rubber as well, but you have a two-hole design and then you have a single-hole design. So one of them will basically be on one violin string. The other one will be in your two middle strings, so it fits on your bridge symmetrically. So I'll show you guys, what these sound like in a bit. But the purpose of these mutes is, yes, to mute your sound. And why would you want to do that? But also to change the quality of a sound. Composers will often write in music to put your mute on in the middle of playing. So you're playing your orchestral piece and all of a sudden they're like, all right, put your mutes on. You're like, well, okay. So these mutes are basically meant to sit on your instrument most of the time. They just sit there. And then when you're playing an orchestra and then it says, okay, put your mute on, you can grab it with one hand, put it on your bridge, and then you can remove it as well. There's a lot of solo repertoire that calls for mutes as well. So yeah, they do make your instrument quieter, but they change the quality, and that's really the purpose of these mutes. Now, which one do you want to get? It really comes down to personal preference. They all sound pretty darn similar. It's just that, they'll go on and off of your bridge a little bit differently. So some people prefer the one string design like this one, and some people prefer the two-string design, because of how easy they are to get on and off of your instrument. And sometimes some of these mutes, they'll come loose, from the back here of your string, and then they'll kind of buzz and rattle while you're playing, so it's a little annoying. The metal mutes, they tend to be a little bit more solid, so they don't have that issue, But for the most part, people just use, a tort mute, and they work just fine. So really quickly, I'll just show you guys what these mutes sound like. So here's the violin without a mute. Okay. Now, this is the two-hole tort mute version. We'll stick it on there. So again, off. Now I'll put it on. Okay, now I'll just do the same thing really quickly with the single string tort mute design. I think this one's a little bit easier to get on and off, to tell you the truth. So, without the mute. Okay, with the mute. You might be able to tell that the sound quality on this one's a little bit different than the other one. So it's a little bit warmer, I guess. Now off. So, pretty good difference in sound. Okay, so now I'll just show you guys the practice mute. Okay, so remember, the practice mute is not meant to be taken on and off easily. It's meant to just, you stick it on there. It's kind of cumbersome. It's difficult to handle. you just stick it on there, you keep it on there for the entire time that you're practicing, so they're not meant to be particularly convenient, but they sure make your violin a lot quieter. So here's what your violin sounds like without the practice mute. Okay, and we'll plop it on. Okay, so big difference, right? So now I'll just play it without a mute, with the performance mute, and then with a practice mute. And now with the practice mute. Okay, so you can play on the violin pretty hard and it will still not make a lot of noise. So the practice mute makes a big difference. So if you guys have any questions about mutes, of course, put them in the comments. You know, I answer most of the comments and in the videos. And of course, you can always call Kennedy Violins. We can always recommend a mute to you if you'd like. And I hope that answers some questions that you guys had. Don't forget to subscribe and to like the video. So with that, I hope you guys have a great day.